So today I'm going on a sartorial journey with broadcaster, author and columnist Grace Dent. Grace has written weekly columns for The Independent and the London Evening Standard until she took on the revered role of restaurant critic for The Guardian, for which she won the Guild of Food Writers Food Writing Award in 2019. In October 2020, HarperCollins published Grace's memoir, Hungry, a book for people who love to eat and love to laugh. On screen, Grace is perhaps best known as a regular guest and critic on MasterChef and MasterChef The Professionals. She's also recently co-presented Best of Britain by the Sea with Ainsley Harriot, which saw the dynamic duo travel the UK in search of our finest seaside holiday destinations and dish offerings. Grace also has a highly successful podcast of her own, Comfort Eating, which I love. But Grace, I think you'd be totally horrified by my comfort foods, but that's a whole other conversation. Although I've never met Grace before, I have loved getting to know her a little through her podcasts and her writing. Her sense of humour is legendary, and she's never short of an opinion. So welcome, Grace. You were once quoted as saying, "After a childhood of tartan skirts and orange cagoules, I discovered elegant, reassuring black and never looked back." So what was your earliest sartorial memory?
Oh my God, I love it when someone says, "Here's a quote by you," because I cringe right away because I'm really worried what you're going to dig up. That is right. Orange cagoules and tartan skirts. Now, that is an outfit that my mother forced me into as a child. And I remember specifically rebelling against, one of those first tantrums you have where you actually physically lie down on the floor and beat
Fabulous.
the floor. And I remember it was over a tiny orange cagoule that my mother had I think it was passed down from a cousin. It wasn't even a new cagoule.
And did it smell of plastic?
It smelled of plastic, and I think it had things in the pockets.
Oh,
that second-hand fluff.
Oh no!
Second-hand sweets in the pocket, and I was absolutely furious. And and a tartan skirt, which was
it scratchy?
It was a scratchy, itchy tartan skirt, and I wasn't a very elegant child. I'm not tall now as an adult, but I was a tall child. I was always bigger than everybody, and I was kind of gangly. And my mother used to cut my... It's all going out now. By the way, hello. I didn't say hello at the beginning of this. I just went straight into this therapy session. My mother used to cut my hair, and she used to cut it almost into a bob, and with the kitchen scissors because the fringe was getting too big. And I always remember just having these scabby little knees, the scratchy skirt and the cagoule. The problem being, my little brother was gorgeous, right? He was one of those gorgeous little boys that people stopped us in the street all the time wherever we went. He had white blonde hair and a cherubic face with little ruddy cheeks and little plump limbs, and he was gorgeous, and he had perfect teeth, and everywhere we went people said, "Oh, isn't he lovely?" And then their eyes would just kind of glance to me.
And how did you feel?
as a tiny child, thinking, yeah, I am not like David, I'm not pretty. But it's funny because it kind of has gone with me my entire life. Not in a bad way. It's not as if I think, oh my God, it's really held me back. It's more that I've always known that my style of my beauty, or whatever anyone wants to call it, is more, I kind of have to work for it,
I'm kind of you, so don't. Can I just say, it's all amazing in your emerald green, no black in sight.
But it is all. I don't think that I am a natural beauty. I think that when I get up in the morning, and I haven't got all of the beautiful things that the 21st century has given us, great primers and amazing bras, right? I think I do look into the mirror a lot of the mornings and just go, oh my God, it's Alice Cooper. All I see is like this like crazy black hair and these like kind of really like piercing blue eyes. And sometimes I just go, yeah, you're still not David. That's my little brother, by the way.
But do you ever feel like you use fashion as your armor?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Absolutely. I should have maybe thought a little bit longer before I said yes. Yes, I do. Fashion. I wouldn't say fashion because whenever I think fashion, I think of being a slave to the latest trends that are coming up, and and thinking, oh, I can't wear a skirt that's to my knee because I've just been told by somebody in a magazine that it has to be 3 inches longer, whatever. So I don't feel as if that's what is my armor, being like the coolest of the moment person in a room. Clothes, however, are everything. They're the thing that I would never go to a meeting or something like that. I would never go to something without thinking about the outfit that I'm putting together and what it communicates.
I was going to say,
does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So would you say, do you dress for yourself or your partner or for your audience?
I never dress for my partner.
Oh,
I never. Oh my God. No. I mean, you're on a hide into nothing in this life if you're dressing for your partner, because you're going to walk out of that room 9 times out of 10
disappointed,
and they're just going to look at their watch and go, well, we're not meant to be in a restaurant like in about 22 minutes time. Sorry, my voice is going. And you're going to be so disappointed, and they're not going to notice. They're not going to, I dress, sorry, I'm just going to have a drink.
Have a sip.
I think that's hay fever, but I'll carry on. Do I dress? I dress for myself. I dress to create the character of the person that I want to put over when I go into whatever room it is, whether it's a wedding or a business meeting, or maybe just going for Sunday lunch. I put together that outfit,
this persona.
Yeah, because it is. It's like and it is kind of like a fortress. I think that's why I'm quite bad at casual dress. Like that kind of, when you see like a list, you see kind of spreads where it says things to just wear for a picnic in the park, and I just look at all those clothes and I just think, I'd rather not go. I don't want to drink rosé in the park. Thank you. I'm not bothered.
If I've got to look like that,
I'd rather wear something fitted and go to a restaurant.
But when you're slobbing out at home,
yeah,
what's your go-to?
Lots of kind of lovely pajama bottomy type things. If I'm very honest, what I feel like I wear a lot in the house is I am always attempting to buy beautiful designer, what's it called? Athleisure. I've never said that out loud. Beautiful designer athleisure wear. And I see all these, like me and M.
Cashmere joggers.
I see these, and I see pictures of them. And there'll be some woman in a baseball hat, and she'll have like these beautiful joggers with stripes down the side, and they're about 160 quid. And I buy myself gifts in the middle of the night all the time. Middle of the night me loves buying.
Oh, and Grace, middle of the night me.
Middle of the night me, it's 3 o'clock with like Instagram, looking through Instagram, and I'll see a picture of this woman and she's got the baseball cap on, and I'll go, no, I deserve them. I deserve those. So I get them and I buy them in either small or medium because I know I've got really short legs. And then they arrive, and I just haven't got the length of bone and the structure of face to wear athleisure wear, right? They just look baggy and enormous and like I'm going to clown school. And that is what I end up wearing around the house because I can't go anywhere in them. So I've got about 10 pairs So what I would, this is, if anything good comes from this conversation, it's an appeal to me and M and places like that to basically make their joggers shorter for people who are, although ostensibly do look quite tall, when they take their heels off, have the proportions of a small Shetland pony.
Oh my goodness.
It's true.
But so I'm fascinated to know when you do a restaurant review.
Yeah.
Do you go incognito, or is everyone on high alert and they know you're coming, and so you feel obliged to sort of glam it up?
You know, it's a real problem getting into restaurants anonymously for lots of different reasons, because although that's the ideal situation, is to get in anonymously with nobody knowing you're coming and just get a fair representation, is really hard, because people find out that I'm coming if I speak to people. Often a photographer has needed to make an appointment to go and take photos of the food.
Yep.
So therefore, they've blown my cover.
They're primed.
Everyone's got WhatsApp, so everybody talks. So if I'm seen in one restaurant close by, before I get there, people know I'm coming. So that's the first bit of the question. Am I incognito? No. Can I make myself more incognito? Yes, I can if I go. So how you see me now, hair up, the makeup. I can't, if I was to walk in like this, that's red alert, because I am in the, as I say, the character.
You're Grace Dent.
As I say, it's like the drag effect, Grace Dent. This is what I am, you know. If I take all of this off, I can get in for a little bit. Sometimes I can get in if I...
Baseball hat? Wig?
I think a wig is a dangerous thing to try, because people may just look across and go, why is Grace Dent wearing a red wig over there, which she's put on incredibly badly. I do sometimes glasses, hair down, flat shoes, which really fools them. Flat shoes. People aren't expecting the Shetland pony.
They can't be sneakers. I was going to have breakfast with a girlfriend the other day, and she texted me and she said, it was an editor actually, and she said to me, we can't go where we were supposed to be going because I've got sneakers on. And I said, shit, so have I. Where was this? We were going to Mark's Club, and suddenly, no sneakers. So, yes. What's your feeling about that whole dress code for a restaurant?
I'm mixed on it, because I think that people should have sartorial standards, and it's lovely to go into somewhere where everybody's looking incredible. So, you know, it's some of the restaurants, you go to Sessions Arts Club in London and people are in there looking beautiful, fashion crowd wearing high fashion, it looks incredible. And it's all very well until, as you're saying, it happens to you and you don't get in, and then you're absolutely livid. I was walking down the road with my partner. We were in Mayfair, and we were having lunch somewhere with some friends, and we were early, and we were walking past Sexy Fish. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it well.
Fish. And my partner was wearing this pair of ridiculous trousers that he's got that are worth about £450, and they're like fireproof. They're so stupid. They're like these real.
He's into his fashion.
Yes, but I always say these bloody fireproof trousers, right? And he's like, they're gonna last forever, and I'm like, I know,
they need to.
I know. Anyway, so we get to the door of Sexy Fish, and I go, oh, should we just have a cocktail? Should we just go in there for a laugh and see, you know, because I've been in quite a lot of times, and they wouldn't let us in. And I found myself,
him and his
£450 fireproof trousers on. And I was like, don't say a word. He said, I'm so sorry, you can't come in those trousers. And I was thinking, Grace, do not be seen in the doorway of Sexy Fish shouting about in £450 fireproof trousers. But yes, I get really annoyed sometimes, because I think they should.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you. Tell me, does your weight or perception of your body affect the choice of what you wear?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, look, I'm like every woman in that I have a wardrobe of clothes which subliminally divides into all the things I'm going to wear once I've got that 11 pounds off.
No.
All the things that are now too big because I bought them when I was a bit heavier. The things that, the things that I wear that I can wear at any weight. Yeah, I mean, God,
Sounds like an expensive business, that.
it is. No, it is completely. It's funny, I was packing some clothes up the other day that I was wearing when I was a bit bigger again. And I thought, don't do what you always do and just give them all away, because you'll just end up eating loads of jam sandwiches again. And
And what do you do with those?
I'm always packing clothes up and putting them into the loft. And then I forget all about them. And then I remember, and then it's lovely.
And
It's
then
like
do
a
you
whole new-
rebuy the same thing?
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, God, do you not do that where you see a beautiful dress and you think, oh, I love that. Isn't that just me? Isn't that lovely navy dress just me? And then you get it and you bring it home and you realize it's lovely because you've already got 2 or 3 that are exactly like it.
I've certainly done that with
Yeah.
shoes, I have to admit.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, I mean, gosh, weight definitely influences every time I go into the wardrobe and pick something up. Like when I'm feeling great, I can wear certain things, but it is, the moment I start getting bigger, certain things just, it's like my world becomes smaller and smaller. I always say, as Generation X, I didn't get the point in my life where I learned body positivity. And when I see like the younger women coming through and they're just like, wear whatever you want and wear it at any size, I'm always like, God, I grew up, my earliest memories were watching Miss World and sitting at the age of 7 watching woman after woman come through, and they go, Gloria is 36, 24, 36. And you know what I mean?
It is stuck with you.
Those numbers, 34, 20, 36, 24, 36, which I've never ever been, but
I can't believe that.
and there's
Second, you look absolutely spot on, that.
thank you very much. But it's just looking at and always feeling it's just in there. It's in there somewhere. It's so, yeah.
Does the size label ever affect your decision to buy? This is a controversial one because everyone has different sizing.
Well, this is it. Everywhere. Me of old, yes. Me when I was in my 20s and 30s would never have wanted to admit that I was a certain size. Me now don't care because I'm fully aware that everywhere is different, the way that they size things up. So if it's a size that I don't think I am, I don't care. I just
Do you have a chop
against
test?
me. Do I ever chop? Yes, I have chopped labels out, and I know that because the other day I was going through my wardrobe and I found a beautiful pencil skirt, and I think it was like a Westwood pencil skirt, and I was like, oh, I forgot I had this. What size is it? Oh, I don't know, because Grace in the past has clearly
Wants to be sizeless.
Grace in the past wanted to pretend it was smaller. So, oh my God, yeah, I love these questions. I love them. This is very revealing.
Well, it's
I love it.
sartorial psychology, isn't it?
Yes.
Who would you consider to be your style icon?
When I was a very little girl in Currick in Carlisle, I used to watch Coronation Street, and there was women on there like Pat Phoenix, Elsie Tanner, and I loved that kind of glamour, that even Bette Lynch, the pencil skirts and the little waist.
And the power that came with that?
100%. Absolutely. What women like that taught me was, and my mother, who was exactly like this, that you can have a little cry in the house over what's going on. And you can look like hell behind closed doors if you want to. But when you go out, even if it's just to the supermarket, you put yourself together.
Yeah.
and the neighbors don't know they don't know that you're sad, and it's all about
True armor, isn't it? In a fake art. Yes.
Like I would, it's like if you get dumped, then you go inside and you lick your wounds for a little while and probably just live on Kit Kats and coffee and Marlboro Lights for 2 weeks and cry and look shit. And then you put on the pencil skirt
and you fit into it and just slither into it.
And then you go out and face the world, go out and face your nemesis.
Talking about going out and face the world, if you're unsure of the dress code, do you have a go-to look?
Oh, God.
Or do you just follow your gut and what do you feel like putting on?
Dress codes are the bane of my life because, first of all, you get everybody else ringing you, all your friends, to discuss for example, what does black tie actually mean in this day and age?
Well, it's so wide now. I mean, yeah, for the boys, easy.
Yeah.
You wear your dinner suit.
So for me, exactly, when I see it's a black tie event, I just feel immediately just a little bit, not stressed, not anxious, just weary, because does that mean a long skirt? Does that mean a frock? Does that mean the whole Yahoo? Or I went to a black tie at Claridge's once for this like amazing fancy dinner. I turned up in like a long skirt and there was just women coming in trouser suits and I just felt really out of place, and I very rarely do, and I hated it that they put me on the back foot. Also, do you not find dress codes like slightly patronizing? Do you know when you get asked something and they say, "Oh, dress, make an effort," and you're just like,
"Oh, that one,
make an effort."
What does that mean?
Just make your
and smart casual.
Smart casual. Oh, smart casual.
Go away.
So, I think that people have to be careful with how they sum up dress codes, because I think that they think about the invite. They say all these beautiful things, all these amazing inviting things at the bottom. They say, make an effort, or showbiz glamour. And you're like,
but as Grace pretends to vomit. Is age a consideration on how you dress? Or do you believe in, I love Davina's wonderful mantra of aging disgracefully? Pardon the pun, Grace.
Look, yeah. Right. Do I think about my age? I definitely don't wear the things that I used to wear when I was 18, 16 to 27. No, because I see this with, when my niece is getting ready to go out. She's a teenager and she comes down and, she's kind of lots of different things showing, and all of her friends are like that too. And I look at them and I go, that is one, I'm appalled, and two, that is exactly how I used to look,
And it's the thick black eyeliner with the flick,
the whole thing,
and they've got
the whole shebang,
full skin, and it's caked in makeup.
But then I always think they find each other attractive, the boys and the girls. Yeah. This isn't for me to look at, to judge. And I remember being that age and, going out. I used to go out. I'm from the north. I'm a northern woman. I used to go out naked.
Club.
I used to go out in, I remember, when we were in Ibiza and Tenerife and, going, just getting ready to go out, and it'd be like some kind of bikini bra top and a little skirt and a pair of long length leather boots and a little purse. Just a purse with a credit card in it, off out the door, and then kind of thinking, God, why is everybody looking at me in this restaurant? I was sitting there with just an enormous, large, oiled pair of boobs in a restaurant, wondering why everybody, but also kind of loving the fact that everyone's looking at me. So do I dress like that now? No. Do I look at the clothes that are meant to be being marketed to a woman of my age? No, I go into Peruna in Marks and Spencer's and just want to lie down on the floor and cry, I don't. So do I dress my age? Do I want to age disgracefully? No, I'm going to age gracefully. I don't think, I kind of, I don't want to be disgraceful. I've never been disgraceful.
Even the bikini moment?
Is it either the important thing about
a moment?
The important thing about the 90s is there's no photos, which is absolutely amazing.
Feed on your social media.
Love it. I love
What
it.
would you say was your worst fashion moment?
Oh God, there's been loads.
That's honest.
But then, so there's the but I loved these at the time. I do remember once going to the Hacienda in Manchester in the 90s, and all I had on was this animal print, very thin leopard skin catsuit, and it was skin tight with these massive pair of block-heeled sandals, and then a long beads. And I just remember, I looked like a circus entertainer, and I thought I looked absolutely incredible. When you look back as well, we didn't have the same makeup then, like now we didn't have
all the same makeup awareness.
Yes, there was no YouTube tutorials, and also we just didn't have, you went into the shops and there was, your average chemist in Carlisle had like 4 shades of foundation. God forbid you were anything that wasn't those. There was like porcelain, sand, terracotta, and whatever, something, and so we'd all be, trekking off, and we all had our, our kind of whatever. I remember like Heather Small from M People went through a stage where she would wear these long dresses with splits to the knee, and I saw all the girls from Carlisle. We all had them, and we'd all have like this foundation that kind of came to the neck.
And then stopped.
Well, there was no, there was no spray tans then as well, really. There was just awful kind of do-yourself tans. So we just all looked really pale with like orange faces. I don't know how anybody really got pregnant during the 90s, because I don't know how there are so many children that were born in the 90s, because we looked bloody awful all of the time. But as I say, we fancied each other.
Well, exactly. It was a moment. Do you have one item of clothing that really means the most to you?
God, this is like, that really means the most to me. Am I going to get into trouble for saying this? I've still got the dress that I got married in. I'm not married to him anymore, but I still got that dress. And it was we just had a very informal marriage. We got married in Vegas. And I've still got the dress, but I love the dress. This is the problem.
I want it again.
Yes,
with your partner.
Not with my partner. No, he wouldn't care anyway. He wouldn't be bothered. But I still got that dress, and I can't quite give it away. It's a turquoise patterned tea dress, and it's in the exact color that I love, and it's nipped at the waist, and it's flattering, and you can stick it in a suitcase, and you can just get it out of the bottom of a suitcase if you're filming, and it can be covered in literally biscuits and dog hair, and you can literally put it on and look $1 million. And I always do wonder if my ex-husband is sometimes watching TV casually one night, eating Pop-Tarts or something, and he just looks and he goes, "Is that the dress?" What? I'm sure I know that dress. So if you are listening, I just love the dress. I'm sorry. So yes.
But it's not the sentimental value.
It's the fact that it
does the job.
Great. And I paid money for it, and I'm going to bloody wear it. That's bad, isn't it? Now I've said it out loud, I thought, am I a sociopath? I'm a sociopath, aren't I?
You obviously do quite a lot of television, and so wardrobe needs are pretty extensive. Do you use a stylist? Do you ever let them take you out of your comfort zone? If you do,
do I am right. So having to supply outfits to continually be on whatever in front of cameras and things is like an endless task. I do almost all of it myself. because
It's a huge task.
I know it is, but then I do work with stylists sometimes. And what I find heartbreaking about working with stylists is that you go through the whole process with them, and then they find you these incredible pieces, and you put them on, and you look incredible for the 2 hours. You know what I'm going to say. You feel incredible for 2 hours, and then you wake up at 7 o'clock the next morning, and there's a text saying a bike's coming.
Oh,
And then
send them back.
And then the bike disappears with the £3,000 jacket.
Cinderella moment.
You're just like, oh. So I've always, and then obviously you get the bill for the stylist. So I have trained myself over the years. I'm to buy myself, but I am constantly buying. As I say, I'm always on Instagram, and I'm always seeing things. I'm always at the high, going down the high street and looking in the high street and buying. And so, yeah, but then I kind of like the control. Do I like being taken out of my comfort zone? I bloody love it. My heart,
You're brave.
my heart sings when I am doing a shoot for a magazine, a glossy magazine, and they say, what are your sizes? We've got an amazing stylist, and she's going to get in a load of things, and you get there and there's just an entire rail of incredible clothes, and you put them on and you look wonderful. My heart sings. I love it. I love that moment. But in this day and age, as budgets being slashed all over the place, that happens in fewer occasions. So what I always say to anybody getting into television is know every inch of your own body and know every inch of your own face, because it's all very well relying on people, but there's going to be a hell of a lot of times where it's just you, babes, and you're just bringing stuff from home like it's school play.
And so with that sort of enormous need for clothes, would you ever rent?
Renting feels like a lot of admin to me.
I think it is a lot of admin. Just in the terms of sort of sustainability and consumption. And
I love the idea. I go on the website, so maybe you do too, and you see this wonderful woman standing in Cleethorpes in a vampire's wife dress, which she's renting out for £185 a day more. And I look at it and I think, I really like the idea of that, but I don't know what days I need it for. And the idea of having to either post it back myself and it getting lost in the post, all of that, I've just created myself another chore. I would rather, I'm being very practical here. So yeah, renting's lovely, the idea, but I think it's maybe other people's idea of fun.
Yeah, and I can see for your lifestyle, a lot more complicated.
Yes.
But so what's your approach to sustainable fashion?
My approach to sustainable fashion is to really look after the things that I've got. The classic items that I've got, I've got, beautiful fitted skirts and pairs of shoes that I've had for years and years and years. Like what I've got on right at the moment, this emerald trouser suit, I wore it for the first time about 3 weeks ago to something. I'm wearing it now because it's a beautiful hot summer's day, and I just wanted to put something on that was light and whatever. So I put it on, and then this will go back onto a rail, and I'll know that I've worn it in public, and it won't get worn maybe for a year or 2 years or maybe more, but it'll get kept. Things that are a complete mistake, they go to the RSPCA in Hackney.
Oh, love that. Love that.
If you walk into
The Hackney girls, there's some good finds.
There's something in Hackney, there's just loads of things that were beautiful but on someone else. But I don't, with regards to fast fashion, I think Primark and places like that are good for, I think they are quite good for vest tops and things like that. But buying fashion because you've seen somebody on a show wearing it and you're like, oh, I think that's a mistake. It's never going to look as good.
Guilty secrets. So what do you feel you've got an excessive amount of, if anything, indeed?
Black dresses, black clothes. I've banned myself from black clothes over the last year and a half. I wrote a piece for The Guardian.
That, yes, because I read a piece in The Guardian.
Right. Because I'd been wearing black continually since I was 13. I was a goth when I was about 13 years old, 14 years old.
I'd love to see a picture of that.
I loved being a goth. I loved the music and I loved the outfits. And then I kind of grew out of being a goth and got into, dance and clubbing when I was 18, 19. But the black outfits went with me. And I thought, black is wonderful. It's slimming and it's elegant and you can just dress it up with, some beautiful accessories. But then once you start to become reliant on it, and I think especially as you get older, isn't that strange? That's the first time I've said that out loud. Yeah. Black clothes, I think in your 30s are elegant and slimming. And I think that as I began to age and have days when I maybe felt more doer, I didn't think that black clothes were helping me.
It's interesting that one I find myself reaching more and more for colour or lightness or...
Yes.
Because it's just kinder.
It's kinder. Yes. And I it's almost like you're bringing this presence into the room of, oh, here she is again. And I kind of like that intimidating Elvira Munster presence in my 20s and my 30s. And then more than that, though, I realized I was kind of imprisoned by it as well. I mean, this is it, kind of going into somewhere like COS, which I kind of like for their shapes and their price. And then realizing that I was just writing off all the tangerines and the yellows and the emerald greens, and then just going towards the black, and then kind of coming out with the same old geometric off the shoulder black sack that I've got 11 of. So I kind of thought, look, you're kind of halfway through life and this has got to stop.
What is the most expensive item of clothing that you bought? You don't have to tell me the price.
I don't go crazy on things. So I'm not the kind of woman that goes out and drops 5,000 on a handbag. I've never done that. I do like a kind of a nice mulberry tote or something like that. So I will kind of go and treat myself to a $1,000 or $2,000 handbag.
Do you ever justify it with pounds per wear?
If I'm sometimes, I tell you what,
struggling.
I went on The Weakest Link on BBC One, and I'd flown all the way to Glasgow, and I was the second person voted out, right? Because I was so scared. I mean, I was voted out because I was voted out, but I was voted out because I was so scared that I couldn't even hear the questions, right? And they asked me, and then every single other celebrity just went, vote Grace. Every single one of them. And I went home to the hotel room, and I woke up in the morning and I spent the entire fee on a handbag because I was just so desperate. I went straight to whole comfort shopping and Fraser in Glasgow and just took the money that had been paid and just spent it on a handbag just to spite Roman Kemp.
Did it work? Did you look at that bag and say,
I'm not sure if he knows, but if he ever sees me with that handbag, I want to know that I bought it while thinking of him going, nominate Grace.
What is the oldest piece of clothing you've got in your wardrobe?
See, I've got a pair of Giuseppe Zanotti heels, which I've had for ages, but they're bejeweled. They're stilettos, and they're bejeweled all up the back. And I love them. I will die with those shoes. I'll never. I've got a pair of,
because of the pounds per wear, or because I love them so much?
Because they just they're black stilettos with jewels up the back, and I've got a pair of Oscar de la Renta shoes, which are, again, they're kind of a purple silk with this big kind of stick-on encrusted. I mean, if I'm being honest, they've got diamonds on the front. The diamonds are so big that I look like Michael Flatley from Riverdance in them, to be quite honest, if I'm very honest. But I do love them, and I will never give those shoes away. But I've had them for like 17 years, and I you can bury me in them. Actually, don't bury me in them, because somebody might dig me up to get them.
That's fabulous.
Some woman will be like, I'll give it 6 weeks.
So honestly, how many pairs of shoes do you own?
I have far fewer pairs of shoes now. I used to have hundreds and hundreds, and I think I've maybe got it down to 100 now, because I got rid of a lot of the very stupid high heels, because I've had to admit defeat. I've been wearing like 120 inch, 120 millimeter, stilettos since I was 18. And,
with a platform or not?
Yeah, sometimes with a platform. And then I started to realize that all those years that people said to me that I would break my feet,
You've broken them.
Yeah, there are parts of them that don't really work as well. Like when I walk around barefoot, there's parts on them. I mean, honestly, any young woman listening to this, take this as a lesson. There are parts of my feet that kind of are quite lumpy and bobbly. So now I have to put the...
But those lumpy and bobbles have got a story to tell.
So, yeah.
So let's just do some quick fire quizzes, just for fun. High end or high street?
High street.
Bling or bear?
Bling.
Minimalism or maximalism?
Maximalism, all plates spinning all the time.
Couture or charity shop?
Oh, couture.
One off or boggle?
One off. One off. One off.
Or buy one, get one free?
Or boggle. One. That's it. That question's broken my brain. One off. About one off. One off.
Good. Crocs, cute or puke?
Oh God, puke.
Sneakers or stilettos?
Stilettos.
Skinnies or boyfriends or wide legs, as in jeans?
Oh. I'm sorry, I'm not giving up skinnies. I'm not giving up. I've told you about I've told you about my short legs. They need skinnies.
Bodycon or boho?
Bodycon.
Sports luxe or rock chic?
Oh. Is that a choice? If I sports looks.
Glam or grunge?
Glam.
Red carpet or relax?
Oh, I'd love to say red carpet, but they're absolutely hell holes. I would always rather be in the house. Red carpet, but inside I am dying.
Trend or style?
Style.
Colour or monochrome?
Colour.
Pattern or plain?
Plain.
Experimental or uniform?
Uniform. Uniform's good. It's good to have a uniform.
I think it's great. Cashmere or cotton?
I'm going to say cashmere, but
she's pulling a face.
I'm going to say cashmere, but I've never been a woman that can keep cashmere beautiful in my own house without it getting eaten by some bug or a cat sleeping on
a drink. I'll talk to you about that.
Exactly.
Hoarder or editor?
I do hoard. I do.
Shapewear or sexy lingerie?
Do you know, when I let shapewear into my life, it was a religious experience.
Tights or stockings?
Tights. Who wears stockings? Pervert.
Bikini or one piece?
One piece.
And finally, Grace Dent, one last question. At the end of the day, what do you or don't you wear in bed?
Oh, what do I wear in bed? It depends who's there. If my bloke's there, I try to kind of have some level of like sexiness. So it might just be like a little vest top and some shorts. That's sexy. But if he's not there, oh God,
It's the dog.
it's just exactly, probably just my pants for a while. I don't know. Yeah, and two cats. That's what I wear in bed. If there's no one there, it's just me with one cat on the pillow, and then one back beside me, and then just a lot of cat hair. Cat hair. That is what I wear.
That's what you wear.
I always turn up most places with a lint roller, looking a little bit like I work at London Zoo.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I've been a sartorial speed date with you. What joy. Thank you for your time and your entertaining honesty. Fabulous.
Thank you for having me. I feel lighter, honestly. Thank you for listening. Do I pay you?
No. And I don't pay you, do I?